All right, guys, so we're going to continue our lesson. There's no copies. Everything that I'm going to be going over, you're going to have to write it on your notebook. So please make sure that please make sure that you're writing everything down. Please make sure that you're pausing the video if I'm going too fast, that you rewatch it again, you rewind it, whatever you need to do to understand the process. Ask each other as well. I'm hoping that by next week I'm back. So just do whatever you need to do to make sure that you understand it. So again, everything that I'm going to go over, please make sure you put it into your notebook. Do not just watch the video. Write everything down, okay? You're going to be responsible for the next pages, and I'll show you when that's done, okay? So, so far we have gone over linear functions, and if you remember, we went over the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, right? Today, we're going to go over the HK form, which looks like y equals m x minus h plus k. Okay. This is the new one we're going to go over. Yesterday, we went over y equals mx plus b. Today, we're going to go over y equals m x minus h plus k. And I know it looks a little bit intimidating because it looks bigger, but don't worry about it. It's actually pretty easy to do, okay? So let's go over some examples. Before we go over, actually, I want to go over those notes. So basically, how to graph using HK. Use the last two numbers in the equation as a H and K. H is always opposite. So I want you to remember that. H is always opposite. So basically what H and K is it's a point, it's a random point. Your M values, it's gonna be your slope. So that hasn't changed. So let's go ahead and look into this. My first equation is f of x, and f of x is just a different name for y. Okay, so in this case, what is my slope? Well, let's compare it. I got y equals m x minus h plus k. Well, in this case, what is my slope? Well, my slope is gonna be that number right there, 1 over 2. My h is gonna be that number right there. Remember, 2 has to be opposite, so 2 is gonna be -2. And k is gonna be that number right there. So k is gonna be 4. Notice that the only one that changes is 2 because it has to be opposite, okay? Now, once you have that, that's really all you need. This is a point. Let's go ahead and plot that point. -2 comma 4. Well, I'm gonna start in the middle, and I'm gonna go to 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So -2 comma 4 is right there. All right, now I'm gonna use my slope, which is up 1 over 2. So I'm gonna go up 1 over 2. So my next point is right there. And I'm gonna find 2 points, 2 more points. Up 1 over 1, 2, which is right there. And then up 1 over 2, which is right there. So those are gonna be my points, and that's gonna create my line. All right. Super simple. It gives you everything you need to be able to graph the equation. Okay, let's go ahead and check out number 2. So same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and compare it to y equals m x minus h plus k. Well, same thing. My slope is my m, or the number in front of it, which is gonna be -1. Now, because it doesn't have a fraction, we're just gonna go ahead and put it over 1, okay? My h is gonna be -6, but I gotta do the opposite. So that's gonna be +6. My k is gonna be -3, so that's gonna be comma -3. Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and plot that point. Start from the middle. I'm gonna go 6 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then down 3. 1, 2, 3, which is right there. Okay, and then my slope is -1/1, and because it's negative, instead of going up, I'm actually gonna go down. So I'm gonna go down 1/1. And I'm gonna go ahead and find 2 more points. Down 1/1, down 1/1. And then that's how my line is gonna look like. Okay, and that is how you graph a linear function in HK form. As you can see, super easy. Your slope is given, your point is given, you have everything you need. Okay, let's go over number 3 and number 4. This ones you might understand, you might not. Again, take a minute, write them down, pause the video, and then come back to it. Okay, all right, so number 3, we're gonna write an equation of a line that has a slope of 3 and contains the point -2, 9. Okay, if we remember, an HK, it's given in the form of y equals m x minus h plus k. So all we need to find is my m, my h, and my k. All right, well, remember that your m is your slope. In this problem, your slope is 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 3 right there. And it contains a point. Remember that your h and your k, it's a point. And it's giving you a point at -2, 9. Well, -2, 9, that's your h and that's your k. All we gotta do is plug them in. So your h is gonna be there. And remember that it has to be opposite. So what's the opposite of -2? Well, that's gonna be +2. What's the, and then k is gonna be right there. So we're just gonna go ahead and write k. So that means that your answer is gonna be y equals 3, x plus 2 plus 9. Okay, which is the same thing that it's there. Let's go ahead and do another example. Number 4, we're gonna write the equation for the given line. So same thing, I'm looking to create an equation. Y equals m x minus h plus k. All right, well, we gotta look for our slope. Remember that our slope is rise over run or down over run. Well, I gotta find 2 points. I see 1 point right there, and I see 1 point right there. Okay, well, how do I get from this point to that point? Well, from here, I gotta go down 2, right? And then I gotta run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, which means that my slope is gonna be -2, 5. Okay, and now I gotta find a random point. Well, I did find a random point, this point right here. Well, what point is that? Well, that's gonna be 5 up 3, right? 5 up 3, 5, 3. Well, that's my random point, 5, 3. And all you gotta do is plug them in. -2 over 5, that's gonna be 5 opposite, and then 3. So that's how you write an equation, okay? So for the rest of the class, you're gonna go ahead and do all of those questions on the next page. Everything is on Teams. All you gotta do is click on the link. So you should be working all the way to number 14, okay? Make sure that you write them all down. I'm gonna be checking them when I'm back next week. See you guys.